Hello, it's me. Hi, I should say. Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Here in Spain, it's quite early in the morning. It is 7:47 a.m. I've not been up that long. You might be able to hear that in my voice. I'm not dressed yet. I'm not ready to show my face. So I'm on the avatar this morning. But of course, the news that I've woken up to this morning, I thought I need to let my chatterati know, because we have followed this case of Caleb Harris. Not as much as Caleb went missing around the same time as Riley Strain. And of course, there was a lot of publicity, a lot of interest in the Riley Strain case, although they're very similar cases in some ways. Both deal with a young man who went missing in mysterious circumstances. Caleb went missing from his apartment. Literally, one minute he was outside his apartment chatting with his friends, ordered his food for the next day for his fishing trip. We're going to have a little resume of actually what happened. And then he literally disappeared, and he was not wearing any shoes at the time. So it's not thought he was planning to go anywhere, or, he'd made any arrangements to go anywhere. He just disappeared into thin air. So it's very mysterious. We're going to look at some of the videos from the time to get an idea of what actually happened in the first instance, and I'm not sure. I mean, I have done a video about Caleb, but it was quite a while ago now, but there has been just no news. There's been nothing to report on. Now, it's sort of also significant. I mean, I just feel for his parents this morning, because they're waking, well, they won't be waking up to this news because they're in America, so they'll have had the news overnight. But to get this news is sort of dashed their hopes. I mean, I've got to say, it's not been confirmed yet that these remains are Caleb's, but, it seems pretty likely that they are. And they've been found, let's say, in a place where you feel like they've been hidden. So it looks like foul play. But that is total speculation, really. I probably shouldn't say that, because we don't know anything for certain yet. All we know, sorry, I'm just lighting the candle for Caleb. All we know is that human remains have been found close to his apartment. He's probably the only person who's missing from that area. Seems likely that this is Caleb. So his parents have got this news, which is sort of, they wanted to know, obviously, what happened to Caleb, because they've probably been in an absolute nightmare since he just disappeared. But of course, it's not very nice. They were probably hoping for a better outcome, hoping against hope that by some miracle he was alive somewhere, as you would. Now, the other significant thing about Caleb's case, if you like, in regard to other cases we've been dealing with, is, of course, Tony Mathis, who is the phony Tony, Seth's new bestie. Seth Rogers, the person he employed to be his PR man, who turned the whole thing into an even bigger shit show, basically, than it was before, as far as the Sebastian. Because Sebastian, of course, is another case of a missing boy that we've been covering. He was 15. Sebastian was 15. And Tony Mathis, he got involved in this case, didn't he? Because I think he's a friend of. Let's just have a look at Tony Mathis. This is Tony Mathis with Seth. God, I've got to take that picture. I can't bear to look at Tony Mathis's face. It gives me the creeps. He was involved in the Caleb Harris case, and there's a lot of speculation that he took over the one of the social media accounts and sort of turned it into his own account and kept the followers. And there's when that case sort of went quiet, I mean, because there was no news coming, he then volunteered himself to help out with the Sebastian Rogers case. So it's significant for that reason as well. But the most important reason why it's significant, of course, this is a young man who went missing, literally disappeared from outside his apartment, and now it appears that he probably has been found, but sadly deceased. So there's a lot to come out about this as well. Let me just say hello to everyone before we start looking at some information. Hi, David. Oh, you're up early. Hi, Fragaria. Yeah, whenever I catch people out with these lives, I always wonder who's going to make it. But I know that a lot of my chatters have been interested in Caleb Harris. Nearer to the time when it happened, when there was, a lot of talk, etc. And then since it's gone quiet, it's difficult, isn't it? You can't, when there's no news, you can't sort of just talk about nothing. Anyway, let's have a look at some information. I think we'll sort of start in reverse. We'll have a look at a news item talking about his body being found. Let's have a look. So they've been found in this wastewater lift station, whatever that is. Now, don't get this is in Corpus Christi in the US, and Caleb was, a perfectionist. He did things. He was a person of routine, let's say, and he had ordered his meal from some fast delivery food place. That was outside his door, and then he was outside his apartment talking to his friends. We're going to look at that, and then he just disappeared, and nobody, obviously somebody knows where he disappeared to, and he was wearing no shoes, or he wasn't wearing any shoes. So, it definitely was not thought that he disappeared voluntarily, that he actually went off himself. He had a trip planned the next day. He did things in a routine, Caleb. He wasn't a person who would just go off. So it never looked that good from the beginning. But yeah, he's been found in this wastewater lift station. So it looks like his body has been hidden there. Anyway, let's have a look at these.
Just into our newsroom tonight, human remains have been found not far from where a New Braunfels man went missing in Corpus Christi. Now, Corpus Christi police confirming tonight that the remains were found in a water lift station. The collection point is 40 feet deep. The collection point
let me go back to that.
Water lift found in a water.
Oh, sorry. I just want to see. So I think this is where they've been found. A wastewater lift station. So has somebody put his body in there? I mean, he's not gone in there himself, has he? That it reminds me a bit of Eliza Lamb, who disappeared on the Cecil Hotel, and they think she got in the tank herself. Surely Caleb's not going to have, gone up there and got in the tank. Anyway, I don't know the full details, but when I saw that, I just thought, oh my God, how the hell has he got in there? How has somebody got him in there?
Found in a water lift station. The collection point is 40 feet deep and had to be drained to recover the remains. Now, to be clear, there's been no confirmation that the remains belong to 21-year-old Caleb.
Yeah, it's not been confirmed yet that they are Caleb's remains, so we've got to be mindful of that. The other thing I think is, how did the police know to look in there? Is that just somewhere that they thought they would search, or has somebody given them a tip? How would they know? At the end of the day, somebody's put a body in there, whether it's Caleb or not. There is there is no limit to people's wickedness. Sometimes you just think people can be so wicked.
Harris, who you see here, who mysteriously disappeared from his apartment in March, will of course continue.
Yeah, 1 minute he was outside his apartment. You can see he's with friends. I don't know if they're under any suspicion. I don't know. He's smiling. He looks relaxed. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong.
To follow this story and bring you any updates as we learn them here on air and online at kens5.com.
So we're sort of starting backwards, if you like. So that's the latest thing. That's, the latest news that these remains have been found. So there's a $50,000 reward for finding Caleb. $50,000. Anyway, maybe somebody has come forward with a tip. Maybe that's the reason that they searched that place. I don't know until more details come out, of course. All right, let me go back on here. Hi, Esberg. So yeah, now we're going to have a look. Go back a bit. We're going to have a look at what his dad. I mean, I really feel for his dad. His dad's spoken a lot about this, and they were always trying to stay optimistic, where it must have been just so difficult. We're just going to have a look at his dad talking. This was when was this? Oh, June the 6th. This was published, so not that long ago. Family of Caleb Harris remains optimistic 3 months after his disappearance. I tell you what, that must be difficult trying to stay optimistic 3 months after somebody disappears. But what else?
You're missing your son. We're doing everything we possibly can.
It's been 3 long months, but that young man's family still waiting for answers. Caleb Harris, the college student from New Braunfels, last seen at his Corpus Christi apartment in March.
Tonight, his dad tells the night team's John Paul Barajas that their family is not giving up hope.
Given that it's been 3 months, do you still believe you will be reunited with Caleb?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. We hope to see him soon, but we have to rely on God.
Caleb Harris was reported missing in Corpus Christi March 4th. Despite having no leads, Caleb's dad, Randy, says he's optimistic, but that it hasn't been easy.
There's days you just break down. You just don't. You're missing your son. We're doing everything we possibly can, and we're not going to stop. But there's days you just.
The Harris family.
yeah, there must be days where you do feel like giving up. And I was thinking about this, all the various cases that we've been following, that we'll follow right through to a resolution. We've got still Samantha Murphy in Australia. Her remains have not been found, but her murderer has been charged. We've got Anna Knežević who went missing from Madrid. Her husband's been charged with her murder in Florida, but her remains haven't been found. And then, of course, just recently, we did get a resolution of one case, the Rachel Marin case, where her body was found virtually immediately after she was murdered, but her killer, it's taken 8 months to track him down, and he's been tracked down by genealogical DNA. And he finally is behind, he'll be facing charges soon. Well, he's been charged. He'll be facing the trial soon. So, these cases, I just think these poor families, etc., of these, when someone's missing. Now, there was no proof that anything untoward had happened to Caleb. Unlike Samantha Murphy and Anna Knežević, we know that they've been murdered because somebody's been charged with their murder. With Caleb, there was nothing. Well, not that we knew of. I mean, I'm sure the police have been working on all sorts of things that we don't know. But it just seems such a mystery, didn't it? That 1 minute he was there and he was okay, and the next minute he was gone. So as a family, what do you do in those circumstances? You want to keep hope. Of course you want to keep hope, but of course hope must have dwindled.
Friends and even strangers have held search parties, put up flyers and billboards around the state. A $50,000 reward is also being offered for information that could lead to Caleb's safe return.
We don't know that he's in Corpus. I mean, that's the epicenter, but really don't know. He could be anywhere.
Caleb was last seen hanging out with friends. His dad says everyone is going to sleep, but Caleb stayed up to order food and left the apartment without shoes, his wallet, or keys. He did take his phone, but that was later turned off. Corpus Christi police say the phone has since been reactivated by forensic computer examiners.
So essentially, they're trying to access his phone.
So somebody at Kendall there on the chat has just said an employee found the body or saw the body. So that's interesting. So Has he just been found by, not by a tip, like just, that sounds a bit like Riley Strain, didn't it? How, just shows you, you know, how much you're looking. One thing that I've come to realise since I've been covering true crime, and particularly it seems over the last few months, because of course we're looking in some of you may know, well, some of you will know, but a boy from the UK has gone missing in Tenerife in Spain, and there's a big search party going on for him. One thing I've come to realise is looking for bodies, it is hard, isn't it? You know, the police have been searching for Caleb so, you know, so intensively. And then, of course, not only the police, lots of people, and nothing. And then it just goes to show quite often bodies are found, like Riley Strain. Again, there was a massive search, wasn't there, of the Cumberland River with lots of people involved. And finally, Caleb was found by a worker on the river. And then we had the Nicola Bulley case, and all the searching was done for her. And then her body was found by a psychic who was walking by the side of the river. You know, you just cannot, it's just so difficult to find people, you know, because it's, you can even walk past the same place over and over again before you actually find them, because it literally is looking like looking for a needle in a haystack. So I would say 100% Caleb has been put in there. I wouldn't imagine for a minute he's got in there himself. But of course, we have to wait and see. Let's hope it's not going to be one of those, oh, no suspicious circumstances. Surely somebody has put Caleb in there. Something, you know, something has happened to Caleb. He's come to foul play because of something that's happened.
Maybe to see if there was anything they could pick up from, you know, his texts, calls, or apps, anything like that.
You know, if there was anything that last minute, you know, did we miss a picture, miss something?
For now, Randy has this message for his son.
If he is in a situation where he's restrained or he's unable to do something, fight with everything he's got.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Certainly hope that this family finds a resolution soon. If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Caleb Harris, call the Corpus Christi Police Department. The number's on your screen. It's 361-826-2840.
So basically, that's more or less, isn't it, the sort of news items that have been going on, you know, urging people to contact the police if they know anything. And nothing, as far as I know, has come out. There hasn't been anything, you know. Anyway, so we're going to look at another news item. I'm just trying to refresh people's memories, including mine, because couple of months later, you know, sort of memories become blurry, especially because of all the other cases that we've covered. So I'm going to have a look at one more video just explaining what was going on. So this was, again, in the early days. Search continues for Caleb. So let's just watch this to refresh our memories. And while we're waiting for, I mean, you know, it'd be a little while before new information comes out. Of course, it's sort of late at night now in America, so maybe this evening, as far as Spain and UK, etc., is concerned, before more news comes out, I expect there's they'll be doing a police conference. I'm going to have a look for that while we're watching this.
A&M Corpus Christi when he disappeared from his apartment 1 month ago. Locals are saying that they're praying for his safe return. Scripps News, Corpus Christi was there at last week's vigil.
That happened in Corpus really did touch my heart, because I know I can do something about it because I'm actually here.
It's now been a month since Caleb Harris disappeared from his apartment on Ennis-Jocelyn Road, but the community certainly hasn't forgotten. Aliana Garcia saw that a prayer vigil was happening in New Braunfels for Harris, and they asked on Facebook for one in Corpus Christi. Without any connection to Harris, Garcia took it upon herself to gather everyone for prayer.
Amazing grace. I know that people do care. People do care. They might not all know him, but they're here to support the family and him and pray.
So there were vigils, again, similar to the Sebastian Rogers case, isn't there? Will Sebastian be found, one way or another? The thing is, this news of the remains being found, it's horrible to think, that it's been confirmed, or if these remains turn out to be Caleb, to be confirmed that Caleb is no longer with us, but probably most people sort of felt that anyway. But you just always, it's difficult, isn't it? Because before the remains are found, there's always that outside hope that your loved one might just walk in through the door, or just might turn up somewhere, or, I suppose as a family member who's going through that, there is at least a little tiny bit of hope, as long as no body is found. And then when the body's found, you've got a type of closure, haven't you? It's not very nice closure, because you now know it's confirmed. My dog's just choking on his food. He was trying to bark and eat at the same time, and it all went down the wrong way. Anyway, so there's always, as long as you've got that glimmer of hope, that's something, isn't it? And then when remains are found, that glimmer of hope sort of disappears, doesn't it? That will have been the same for Riley's family, Riley Strain's family, any family that has had somebody missing and then remains are found. For the police to say, or, for them to release that these remains have been found, it's likely to be him, isn't it? It's likely to be him. I can't see that it's not going to be him, even if it's not been confirmed yet by DNA or, whatever. But they'll know from the clothes, as soon as they get the body, presuming there's clothes on the body, etc., they'll know that it is Caleb, but they have to confirm it, of course. So then that little bit of hope has gone, which is very, very sad.
For his return home.
Corpus Christi police released the timeline of 21-year-old Harris's last known location. No one has seen him since a Snapchat he sent just after 3 a.m. on March 4th. There have been many search efforts by police and volunteers since then. Many people who don't even know Harris. And that's the case for most of the people that gathered at the prayer vigil.
I want to come and show what I can, do what I can. Even being here counts. Praying counts, showing some love to the family, praying for them.
Fabian Charles is one of the attendees. He feels connected to the situation because he's close in age to Harris.
I don't want to walk. I don't want to ride my scooter one day and the next thing I'm next. I don't want it to be my neighbor. I don't want it to be a family. I don't want to be my girlfriend's family. You wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy.
Searches continue in the area around Harris's apartment, the cottages. Garcia says she still searches on her own when she can.
I would like for his parents to know that Corpus is with them. Corpus's hearts are all with them, and to not give up and don't give up hope.
We are all hoping and praying for Caleb Harris's safe return. And this morning, we have a very special guest joining us on the program, Caleb's dad, Randy Harris.
Just to remind anyone who's just coming in now to this live stream, we're just looking back at a news item from, just to sort of reacquaint everybody with the Caleb story. Remains have been found. We're going to look at that again once more at the end before I finish the news article that the remains have been found, which are likely to be Caleb's. But now we're going to hear what his dad had to say, a while ago when Caleb was still missing.
Harris is joining us. Randy, good morning to you. And first, let me just start by saying just our heartfelt, sentiments we want to share with you, how all of our Court TV viewing audience is hoping and praying that your son is found safe and can be brought home to you very soon. Could we start with some of the last things we know that Caleb was doing and really try to go back to those moments in time and see if there's anything there? We put together a timeline, Randy. We shared it on Friday of Caleb's disappearance and the last things he was known to be doing. We know he was at his house. We're talking about March the 3rd going into March the 4th playing video games. We know that he was Snapchatting him with a puppy dog. And Randy, I've seen some conflicting reporting about this. Who does the puppy belong to?
It's actually his roommates, but it was going to be kind of
their dog, to share at the apartment and, do some, just have a little community dog.
Sure. And we know one of the last snaps that he sent was a picture of the puppy, and he sent it to your daughter. And so this was around 2:44 a.m. It looks like he's got the puppy in the parking lot. Randy, do we know, did Caleb return the puppy then to the apartment to his roommate?
Yes, the puppy was back in the apartment.
Okay.
Now, notice what he said there, because, I'm sure there's lots more to this that we don't know. When she said, did he return the puppy to his flat? And he said, yes, the puppy was back in the apartment. Didn't actually say, yes, Caleb returned the puppy to the apartment. So, yeah, lots of details are going to come out now. That was strange, wasn't it? He took this puppy out. Did he have some sort of dispute with his friends or whatever? What the hell happened to him?
And do you know if the roommate saw Caleb when he brought the dog back in?
No, he was asleep.
Okay. So that's what makes this really tough. I know that his roommate knew that he was going to be.
You feel like maybe the dad knows a little bit more than he's thinking about what he can say. Because, I don't know that for a fact. Just the way I'm looking at it now, it looked like he was thinking about what he was going to say. So maybe there'll be some information the police will want keeping back, of course. And what, Misty, what you said there, Tony Mathis, I bet he's back all over this. I can't believe that Tony Mathis isn't going to be back on it now, because he sort of, after everything quietened down and there was no new news about Caleb, that's when Tony Mathis started reaching out to Seth Rogers, wasn't it? He likes to be part of sort of high profile things that are going on. So it'd be interesting to see if he comes back on this now.
Be ordering from Uber Eats, and we know that he left the order behind. And so presumably his roommate's sleeping throughout this time. Randy, there was something that jumped out to me the most from the Snapchats, and I would love to know what you make of it. Caleb's Snapchat showed that he sent a picture of a bridge over a drainage ditch near the apartment, and this was at 3:03 a.m. Any idea what that could be about?
No, not really.
So then there was that other strange photo that he sent to his friend of like a sewer type thing. It was a really odd photo that nobody understood why he'd sent it. And of course, a lot of the search efforts centered around that area because it was just inexplicable why he would send that photo. But anyway, it seems like that's not where he was. And
the timeline is best that we know it and what the law enforcement has put together. Forensics wise, we're not, it's not 100% that it was at that time. But there's something around that time and it actually even delayed even getting to his friends. So not 100% sure or why. We just don't know.
Right. Yeah, that is such a mystery. The puppy, I think we all get cute puppy pictures, why those would be sent. But the drainage ditch just seems a little weird. And that being said, we know it wasn't long after that. It was around 3:20 a.m. that Caleb's phone no longer starts pinging on any cell towers. I'm sorry, 3:12 a.m. Forgive me. It was at 3:20.
So yeah, let's just have a look at that. So he'd ordered his lunch for the next day. Apparently, this is what Caleb did. He was very, meticulous in what he did. He loved fishing. You can see from the photos, and I think he was planning to go fishing the next day. But he'd ordered his lunch for the next day. The Uber Eats driver left it outside his apartment because nobody answered. So it was still there the next day. All this is going on at 3:20 in the morning, and I'm just thinking, that is typical young person's life, isn't it? Doing stuff like that 3:20 in the morning, you know. The thought of taking the puppy out at 3:20 and that, you, as you get older, you think, oh my God. But yeah, when you're young and you're at university or whatever, or doing whatever you're doing, you know, time has no meaning for you. You go to sleep when you feel like it, you get up when you feel like it. You just go with the flow, don't you? So that's when he sent this very strange picture, or as the lady's saying there, to Caleb. Nobody knows why that picture got sent, and was it even Caleb who sent it? And then shortly after that, his phone was turned off, and that was the end of it. I wonder if they'll find his phone.
That the Uber Eats order was dropped off. So 3:12, last known phone activity, 3:20 when the deliveries dropped. So we have just a short window there. Randy, your best educated guess, gut feeling, thoughts on what you think may have happened with Caleb?
Of course, we don't know. And actually, the phone was turned off or went dead at 12:58. I'm sorry, excuse me, 2:58. So as far as the additional pings and things like that, again, it could just be anomalies. We really don't know. But it did go, it was turned off on every device we can find. The last, ping or whatever you want to call it, the phone was off at 2:58. What happened? We really don't know. That's part of the hard. It's hard for us to understand is we just don't know. There's no evidence of anything, as well as he just basically vanished, and that's the hard part. We don't know if he was coerced into getting into a vehicle or forced into a vehicle.
Yeah, so remember, he had no shoes on. This seems a typical theme in a lot of these missing people cases, isn't it? No shoes. And that says nobody disappears themselves without any shoes on, do they? I mean, it just doesn't happen. But how awful, yeah, just disappeared into thin air. How often do we hear that expression, vanished, disappeared into thin air? And of course, people do not vanish or disappear into thin air, but just sometimes it's harder to find them than others.
Or we just don't know, and we don't have any timeline cameras after that, so that we know of. Of course, the law enforcement is doing a phenomenal job, and they're working very, very hard.
Randy, my heart breaks for you as you're sharing this, because like you said, it's like he vanished, but people don't just vanish. There's a reason. Something had to have happened.
Right.
I'm curious, did Caleb have a set routine, a certain time that he would always be out walking the dog, or a certain pattern that somebody, who may, God forbid, have wanted to do him harm could have picked up on?
No, actually, yes, Caleb's he's a creature of habit, very much so. Being out that late with a brand new dog, they had just gotten a dog like at 10:15, 10:30 that night. So that's why they were out. There's a video at 1 o'clock, with his roommate, another friend. They were out playing with the dog. Best we know, take the dog out, come back, and, order Uber Eats, leave the dog, and then maybe went outside to wait for his order. I mean, he's an outdoors guy, but he wouldn't go walking at that time of night, especially outside the complex.
Sure. And Randy, I wanted to ask you about that, please. As we understand, it
does seem likely they had some sort of dispute with someone. Are his friends involved in this? Did he have a dispute with one of it? I mean, you saw on the video that we were watching this, he was smiling, laughing, all seemed very relaxed. But, arguments can happen quickly, can't they? They can happen quickly, especially with young people. He didn't look like he'd been drinking anything or taking anything. It wasn't like, Riley Strain. He was obviously, drunk too much or taken something. But I don't think Caleb just looked like normal. He didn't look like he was high or It didn't seem from what we've seen, but you know, with, as I say, arguments can just break out of nowhere, can't they? So
a bay a couple thousand feet away from where the apartment complex is located. I'm sure this, has been discussed with you. Investigators, are looking in that area. Do you think the bay could be key to this? Would there be any reason he would go near the bay?
That particular bay, a lot of people say, well, maybe he went fishing or whatever. He would never do that. One, he always goes with a roommate or a buddy. That particular bay is Oso Bay, not a place he would normally fish at all. It's just.
And he wouldn't go fishing at 3 o'clock in the morning, would he? I mean, when it's dark, you wouldn't probably go people do night fishing, I suppose, but you wouldn't go without your shoes on, would you? And without all your fishing gear. I mean, I'm presuming all his fishing gear was still in the apartment.
It's just not a great place to go fishing. He would normally go out on the island, out by Mustang Island or North Padre Island. He had 3 to 4 definite fishing spots that he would really work hard at and knows those spots really, really well, and so do we. So for him to go to Oso Bay to do something would be very, very rare, and really you may have known, I mean, we've searched and searched and searched, including 12 hours of helicopter time, that entire bay, the reservoirs, the whole area, from the air, from the water, underwater, and then ground searches.
Oh, Randy, my heart, I know the hearts of all of our viewers just break for you. The agony that you must be in. Caleb, what a handsome, smart, talented young man. I know you have said that he was such a helpful person. Do you think that someone could have used that to their advantage to prey upon him?
Really don't know. It's just an unknown question right now.
Yeah. It's just dreadful.
Did we get Tony on the line as well? Did he?
Oh my God!
He unfortunately wasn't able to connect with our.
Oh my God, that's Tony Mathis they're talking about. You said, did we get Tony on the line? But she's saying that they couldn't connect. Oh my God, thank God for that. I don't think I could stand looking at Tony Mathis's face. But yeah, because Tony Mathis was right in all this. I wonder if he's going to pop back up again in this case. But yeah, the dad's just said, did we get Tony on this? And said we couldn't get him to connect.
Our tech ops team. We tried. We did try to get in Tony Mathis, who Randy just mentioned. That's a family friend who's been helping. But listen, Randy, we're out of time for today, but we would love to continue the conversation with you and with Tony. Hopefully we can connect with him next time as well. So we'll keep spreading the word. Every good wish to you and your family as you continue to work to bring Caleb home.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad we didn't get to see Tony, really. Right. I want to just show, for those of you that are just coming in, I want to show the news again, because I sort of started off with the news that the remains had been found, and then we sort of went backwards into the case a bit. So I'm going to show, just before I finish, I'm just going to show, oh, won't let me go on there. Hang on. Access denied. Let's try another one.
Have been found not far from where a new bronze.
I'll go back. So this was where I started with this video, just for people coming in who may not have actually seen the news of the remains being found.
This just into our newsroom tonight. Human remains have been found not far from where a New Braunfels man went missing in Corpus Christi. Now, Corpus Christi police confirming tonight that the remains were found in a.
Yeah, this is where they were found. Look, there's a big ladder going up the side there. Don't know how somebody would have got him in there. I can't believe he's got himself in there. And then Kendall, who's on the chat earlier, said she'd heard that it was an employee who saw the body. So all these details to come out. And I just want to reiterate, it has not been confirmed yet that it's Caleb's body.
A water lift station. The collection point is 40 feet deep and had to be drained to recover the remains. Now, to be clear, there's been no confirmation that the remains belong to 21-year-old Caleb Harris, who you see here, who mysteriously disappeared from his apartment in March. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story.
Yeah, see, I'm struck by this because this is just before he disappears. And he just looks so relaxed. You know, there doesn't seem to be anything, you know, that's, I presume, his mates that are with him there, and there doesn't seem to be any arguing going on, any stress. What happened? You know, just how quick, just shows you, I'll tell you what, one thing I'll say to all of you, you know, hug your loved ones a little bit tighter, because things can change in an instant. Everything, you know, here we are, Monday, March the 4th, at approximately 1 a.m. Caleb's looking very relaxed, smiley, happy, like he normally does on his pictures. And then within a couple of hours, he disappeared and has never been seen again. And this is possibly his remains that have been found. You do the same with Riley Strain. You just don't know the minute. You should always, you know, hug your loved ones that little bit tighter and appreciate every last minute, because you just never know. Life can change. It just rolls on a dime, as they say, doesn't it? Can change from 1 minute to the next, which is, it's a very sobering thought. And of course, the case we're concentrating on a lot at the moment is Jay Slater, who's still missing in Tenerife. And I will be doing an update on that later. But to the point of when this video is going out, he has not been found. That doesn't look very promising. I'm sure he will be found sooner or later. I certainly hope so, for his parents' sake, one way or another, because I think there can't be anything worse than just never knowing what's happened. But I'm just always really struck by this video and how relaxed and happy he looks. And then the thought that not long after he was gone. What happened?
Story, and bring you any updates as we learn them here on air and online at KENS5.com.
There you go. So I just wanted to come up and give you this, bring you this information. Hi, Heather. Hi, Zakali. Yeah, I said that. It reminded me a bit of Elisa Lam. You know, well, that, of course, was found to be an accident, wasn't it? But that's a whole nother story. I have done videos about Elisa Lam. They're on my channel. Yeah, a whole nother mystery. So, well, we'll see. I mean, now that the police, if this is Caleb, which it looks likely there is, at least if it gives them a body, it gives them somewhere to go with the investigation, because until then it all sort of got a little bit cold, really, hadn't it? Because, well, as far as we know, I mean, the police have probably got loads of information, but as far as we're aware, it had gone cold. I noticed not been being talked about much on YouTube channels, etc., because there was literally nothing to say. You know, because there was no new developments as far as we knew. Anyway, there's no new developments that the police had told us about. So, hi, Heather. Hi, Rustic. I'm just about to finish now, because I've got to go and get ready. God, I've got classes in a bit, and I've not even, you know, got dressed, done my hair and stuff, because I saw this news as soon as I woke up, and I wanted to let people know. But obviously, I will be back with any developments on it. And I will be back later with an update about Jay Slater. Again, another young boy, another young man, if you like, disappeared, no trace. All these mysteries, you know, it's like you wonder if you should, maybe we should all have a chip on us, you know, so that people can be found, because it's just torture for these families not knowing what's happened to their young people. And, you know, it happens more often with the young men. I've noticed that a lot of these cases, it's young, you know, obviously I cover cases of women who disappear or who are murdered or whatever, but with the young men, they're always so mysterious, aren't they? You know, it's just like, just 1 minute he's there, laughing, smiling, relaxed, and the next minute he's gone. What happened in the meantime? Somebody knows. Somebody knows, and I'm sure I think the answers probably do lie with his acquaintances, because unless he was lured off by somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. But Time will tell. Time will tell. Yes, I feel like that, Rustic, about Jay. I'm constantly checking the news for news about Jay. And as I say, I will be back later on today with an update about Jay, see what I can find out if there has been any update. You know, from what I can gather, the police are just keeping everything close to their chest still searching, but still doing whatever investigation they're doing. But they're not giving information away, not even to Jay's family. And that's the way the Spanish police work. So I don't think that's going to change until they actually find him and have some information. And then, of course, tonight is the members live for the Carry On chat level. And tonight, I think what I'm going to talk about in the members live is this situation with Holly Willoughby and this man, this awful man who plotted to kidnap her. I mean, the more details that are coming, because he's on trial at the moment, so all the details are coming out about what he planned to do to her and things he bought. And it's a very, very, very weird and scary story for anyone who doesn't know who Holly Willoughby is. She's a famous TV presenter in the UK, and a man plotted to kidnap her and torture her and murder her, slit her throat, you name it. I mean, it's terrible, the details that are coming out. So we're going to talk about that tonight in the members live. If you want to participate in that members live, you can join and participate in that. Okay, so sort of a bittersweet news, if you like, isn't it, with Caleb? And it's awful news that a body's been found in one way, but it's also, you feel that at least maybe the family will get some answers better than, you know, God, there could be 10, 15 years. You know, people sometimes, they never find out what happened to their loved one. You know, be it not a positive thing that happened to them, at least you get to know, you get some, I don't like the word closure, I call it resolution, some answers. You know, maybe you can sleep better at night, even if they're deceased, just knowing that they're not somewhere being tortured or used, you know, if it's a sex trafficking or, you know, sometimes it's better to think they're sort of, it depends on what you believe, it's better to think that they're not suffering anymore rather than worrying every day that maybe they are suffering somewhere and they need your help. It must be just absolute torture. So. Okay, so thank you so much. Remember to live and love wisely and carefully. We'll find out more about Caleb, I'm sure, in the coming days. Find out exactly, hopefully get to find out more about what happened to him. Maybe an arrest will come now that they've actually found the body. Because it's difficult to arrest someone sometimes as well, even if the police are suspicious of somebody in particular. Especially a young boy like that, there's always the chance that they might have just gone off somewhere. But, you know, now that the body's, they've got the body, maybe we'll see an arrest. Watch this space. But I'll see you later anyway. So I'll see you later to talk about Jay. And then I'll see the Carry On chatting members tonight. We were talking about Holly Willoughby's predicament that she was in with this horrible man. And thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like. That's a free way that you can help my channel. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. And I want to say rest in peace, Caleb, or fly free, but we don't know for certain it's Caleb yet. So I won't say that just yet. Adios.